So here we are, 18 and a quarter hours into the competition, and yeah, I woke up shortly after 6:30 yesterday, so I've nearly been up for 24 hours. But I just absolutely can't go to sleep yet. I know you're supposed to sleep, but wow, there's just too much going on at the moment. I'm having so much fun. I did walk away for a few hours after the last video, and then I came back and mucked around with SFXR. Just a 16-bit like audio generator program. I made a whole bunch of sounds ready to plug into the game and see how they fit, how they sound. I've still got to do like a backing track, but all this polished stuff I'm going to leave at the last final stage. Anything I do, I always put the sounds in last because then you don't listen to the sounds constantly while you're playtesting. Speaking of playtesting, not much has changed. It's just been a lot of tweaking of things. Like sometimes I don't feel like the controls are completely sensitive because they do only work on the grid. Got some explosions in there now, just so I can see that things are being destroyed. I put a wave spawner kind of thing in, so the first wave is like 12. I think there's 12 enemies that come out, and their speed is only 2, and their bullet speed is down. Well, and that's what happens when you get exploded. Probably the best effect that comes from the Unity detonator pack, and you can see that thing's healing there. Yeah, okay, that was healed enough for me to walk over. Sometimes if the grids aren't healed enough, you can explode on those too. That one was healed too. Just when it's starting to go off the red, it's going to be a matter of a learning curve for the player, I guess, just to see. Like this one's too red. There you go. Boom. That was still the danger zone. It's starting to fill up now, so I can actually respawn on it. I think that's a bit of a teaser. Every time I die on one of them, you spawn on it anyway, because it tends to heal. Yeah, that one had healed. Yeah, I'm gonna expand the explosion area too. I mean, it's only a small area, and I want to make the grid bigger too. I don't know if because this is a decent kind of play area, and and I've had a bit of practice now playtesting and tweaking and mucking around with the camera and late update and lerping it just to try and get a smooth kind of camera happening. You see, I got a score system and a life system in there as well. Was it 10 points for every ship you hit, minus 2 points for every bullet you fire. So hopefully it's keeping in with the minimalistic theme of it. Like if I sat here and just left my finger on the mouse and spammed it, I'm sure my score would soon go into the minuses. So yeah, I've been thinking about models. I was going to originally have this as a spaceship, but a spaceship running on rails would be kind of weird. And I've grown accustomed to the primitives. Like everything I've built is prototyping that's in a primitive form anyway. So I'm quite happy to leave them as primitives because then I don't have to even bother with the rotation or anything like that. I mean, I've already got the collision detection sorted out, so the bullets fire from the center, from their actual position, but it doesn't. There we go. But it doesn't worry about if it collides with the object that fired the bullet. See, so that bullet's coming from the center of the player there, and it's not setting him off. He's not dying. I'm just checking these grid zones too to see what point. Yeah, it's when they start to go off the red. It's only when they're very red. Yeah, look, I'm going to muck around with the keyboard just a little bit more with controls. But I love that explosion. It's probably the least minimal effect out of the whole game. Is that explosion. Every time you die within a wave, the wave restarts, and so if you had 12 enemies to kill in the wave, you actually have to start again and kill those 12 enemies, but you don't lose the points that you got for that wave. And yeah, this is pretty much it. I think all I'm gonna do to expand on it is went off the grid. Yeah. I'm going to expand the explosion area of the grid, and I'm also going to put in a top 10 leaderboard for just the personal computer. I mean, it's not multiplayer, and it's not going to be sharing leaderboards or anything like that. But I'm just going to have like maybe even a top 5. I'm just going to save the score to player press, so that the person who's playing can see what they did last time and see if they better it. And yeah, that's the story so far. Coding's become a bit of a mess as I've been awake for so long. And just starting to hack at it and expand on it and work on ideas and if I had a couple of weeks to do this, sure, I'd optimize the heck out of the code. But okay. But in its current state, it's starting to get very, very full of comments. A few things are getting rubbed out here and there, changing and rearranging things. I'm leaving a lot of comments. Yeah, that was the last bit I did with the camera. Camera started there, and then I lerped it, and then I put it into late update. Removed a couple of functions, and I felt that were non-repetitive. Yeah, lots of notes. Game over, dude. That's just even the player manager alone. Look, even with all my spacing, up to 400 lines. Enemy manager with yeah, the whole spawning cycle and all these variables we have for each wave. How many enemies, their move speed, their bullet speed, and their fire rate. How many bullets they fire a second. It's all in there. It's all coming together really quite well. For a simple game, I'd say there's nothing minimalist about the code you've got to put into something like this. Notes, things like that. Yeah, I don't think the grid manager's changed much. No, not since I put in the repair stuff. Enemy object. Sorry, yeah, if they check if the player, that's another cool thing I probably could show off quickly. Let's just find the player object and we'll suss out what's happening here. I like this part. Oh yeah, and the other thing is that score and that's not actually using GUI or GUI text or anything. That's actually my own GUI that I've written. It's a procedural mesh, just like the meshes here, but it reads the data of the text font file, and from the BM font, which I produced the image. Alright, now look at that enemy. See that enemy he's killed, and he's gone back to his spawn point and walked off here. Let's try and not kill any enemies, and then see what happens. Get a few on the screen, and then they die. And then I die, sorry. Oh, that was close. Okay, so there's 2. Let's see if we can get about 3 or 4 on the screen. If you get them just slightly on a diagonal, you do really well. There we go. And we look at the top, see? So the enemies just walk away back to where they spawned from. And off they go. But now the wave has started again. Let's see, we should have another one pop in. There we go. So I really like that. I think that's a pretty cool little thing. Anyway, I'm rambling, I'm overtired and still excited, and this has just been a great experience. Like, pushing yourself to the limits, trying to come up with something from start to finish in 48 hours with your own assets. Well, I haven't used my own assets. I'm using primitives and the Unity detonator. But it's just an awesome effect. So, yeah, this will probably be my last video tonight. I'm going to muck around for a little bit longer, but then I'm going to have to try and relax and rest and go to sleep before the sun actually comes up. And get back into it tomorrow, and I'll do a couple of hours, and I'll give my next progress report. So, yeah, if anyone's watching this, tell me what you think. I can't really take suggestions or advice or anything like that, but with all the video feeds that are going on, all the comments, and people actually posting their work here too, and people are commenting on that kind of stuff, so I don't see how opinions can break the rules in any way, because there's plenty of people out there that are breaking the rules. But just yay or nay it. I'll be interested in hear what you think about it. Okay, have fun, and I'll catch you on the flip side.